As the sun goes down in Japan, Kato closes his cafe for the day. He says goodbye to the last customer and tells Aya, the bartender, that it's time to shut the place. While he gets ready to head home, Aya asks whether he practiced enough for the musical performance he has later that night. Kato jokes that he'll greet his fans, then walks out through the back door and goes upstairs to his small apartment above the cafe. Inside, he tries to practice his guitar, but he suddenly realizes he can't find his guitar pick. While he is searching around the room, he hears a voice coming from his computer monitor. When he turns back, he is shocked to see himself on the screen. The Kato on the screen calmly explains that he is speaking from 2 minutes in the future. To prove it, he plays a quick word chain game with present Kato, showing that they're talking to each other in real time. Then future Kato tells him exactly where his guitar pick is, under the rug, and says he only knows that because he already saw the moment 2 minutes later. He explains that the cafe's TV and Kato's apartment monitor are somehow linked, with a 2-minute delay between them. Future Kato then instructs him to go downstairs to the cafe and repeat the conversation to his past self, so the loop stays intact. Kato rushes to the cafe and looks at the TV screen. As expected, he sees the past him searching for the pick. The entire conversation he just had plays again, but now he is the future version giving the answers. When this strange loop ends, Kato starts thinking that he must be dreaming, so he heads back upstairs. But as soon as he enters his apartment, the future version of himself appears again on the monitor and tells him the situation is real. He also warns Kato that a friend, Komiya, is outside the cafe and might cause trouble. Future Kato advises him to hide before Komiya walks in, but Kato doesn't listen and stays where he is. Moments later, Aya and Komiya see Kato on the cafe's monitor. At the same time, the real Kato is standing right next to them. At first, they think he must be filming some kind of YouTube video, but they quickly realize something is wrong when Kato talks to them both through the screen and in person at the same time. After a short while, future Kato reminds present Kato that his 2-minute window is ending and he must return to the cafe again. Kato runs downstairs and arrives just as Komiya rides up on his bike. He explains through the monitor to his past self that this is not a dream and warns him that Komiya is about to enter. Once that loop ends, Aya and Komiya ask how Kato can talk to himself in real time. Aya suggests that the monitor might be some kind of time TV. Kato struggles to explain the strange situation, so the three of them decide to go upstairs and look directly at the monitor in Kato's apartment to understand what's really going on. On the way back, Komiya calls one of his friends and tells him to visit the cafe to check out Kato's strange time TV. After ending the call, he informs Kato that the friends, Tanabe and Ozawa, will be coming soon. When the trio arrives at Kato's apartment, they immediately see something surprising on the monitor, their future selves standing with Tanabe and Ozawa. On the screen, the future Komiya is explaining how the time TV works to the newcomers and encouraging them to talk to the trio on the other side of the monitor. The future Aya even tells her past self to send Ozawa a phone sticker right away. Past Aya sends it instantly, and Ozawa checks his phone to confirm that he actually received that sticker 2 minutes earlier, proving the time gap is real. Next, Komiya demonstrates another trick. He tells Tanabe to name any random object and he will pull it out of his pocket. Tanabe says ketchup, so Komiya dramatically pulls out a bottle of ketchup. He then tells his past self to make sure to go get the ketchup in time. On the past side, Komiya asks Kato where to find it, and Kato directs him to the fridge. This completes the loop just as future Komiya urges them to hurry back to the cafe before the 2-minute window closes. After grabbing the ketchup bottle, Kato, Aya, and Komiya rush downstairs and meet Tanabe and Ozawa outside, exactly as they saw on the monitor. They repeat the time TV demonstration to them, just like they watched happen 2 minutes earlier. Once the explanation is done, Tanabe and Ozawa head upstairs to the apartment because they want to experience the time paradox themselves. Kato tries to stop them, warning that knowing future events could be dangerous, but they refuse to listen and insist on seeing everything. When they reach the apartment, they see their own future selves on the monitor, ready to answer questions about what will happen next. Tanabe holds up a scratch card and asks his future self what he should scratch first. The future Tanabe tells him to scratch the leftmost spot. When the past Tanabe does it, he discovers he has won a sleeping bag and gets excited. Meanwhile, Aya remembers that Kato wants to invite his neighbor Megumi to his show, but never has the courage. So she asks the future Kato what will happen if he finally invites her. After a moment, the future Kato happily reports that Megumi said yes and agreed to watch him perform. Encouraged, the group heads back to the cafe. Kato immediately visits the nearby barbershop to invite Megumi, but reality hits him hard. Megumi refuses. saying she isn't interested in music. Disappointed, Kato goes back to the cafe and tells Aya the truth. Aya insists he must still go to the Time TV and tell his past self that Megumi agreed to come because they have already seen that version of events on the monitor. So Kato forces a smile and tells his past self that Megumi accepted his invitation, even though she didn't. The group then starts planning to ask their future selves important questions, but Aya reminds them that they can't learn anything big. She explains she went back to ask her future self about Japan's next era name, but got nothing because the Time TV only shows 2 minutes ahead, not anything beyond that. Komiya notices Kato looking sad. Aya reveals that Megumi actually turned him down, and Kato only lied to the past version of himself to keep the timeline stable. After a moment of thinking, the group realizes that 2 minutes is far too short to discover anything useful. Suddenly, Ozawa comes up with a bold idea. Maybe they can extend how far the Time TV can see. He draws a diagram on a chalkboard to explain his plan. Then he and Tanabe head straight to Kato's apartment to test it. Aya follows them outside, but as she steps out of the cafe, she runs into 2 strange men wearing brown trench coats. They try to speak to her, but she quickly tells them the cafe is closed and walks away, sensing something odd about them. When they enter Kato's room, they're shocked by what they see on the Time TV. The future Ozawa appears on the screen, and behind him are multiple smaller screens. The first Ozawa on the main screen introduces himself and says he's 2 minutes ahead of them. Then, on one of the inner screens, another Ozawa appears and says he is 4 minutes ahead. Another inner screen even shows the Time TV completely covered with a blanket. Ozawa quickly realizes that his plan works, so he grabs the apartment monitor and rushes it down to the cafe. His idea is simple. If they place both monitors facing each other, they will mirror endlessly and show deeper and deeper into the future. Once they position the screens in front of each other, Ozawa sits down to speak to his past self. After a moment, his past self appears on screen, carrying the apartment monitor just like he is doing now. When the past Ozawa sets it down, they can now see their own group from 4 minutes earlier inside the smaller inner screen. Future Ozawa tells the group in the inner screen that he is 4 minutes ahead. As the smaller screen shows everything they did 4 minutes ago, Ozawa covers the apartment monitor with a blanket, just like they saw earlier on the screen. He explains that by placing the monitors face to face, he created the draw-stay effect, where an image appears inside itself over and over in a smaller and smaller loop. Komiya excitedly suggests that this means they might be able to see years, maybe even 10 years into the future. But Ozawa explains that it's not possible. Each loop only shows 2 minutes ahead, and the deeper you go, the smaller the view becomes, so they'll never see anything extremely far ahead. Komiya then jokes about removing the blanket, saying they might see the end of the world. Kato warns him not to look because it could end badly, but Komiya teases him by saying that maybe the future will show him dating Megumi. Curious and nervous, they finally lift the blanket. To their shock, they see screens showing destroyed buildings and a disaster-like scene. Before they can panic, the image suddenly switches. A future version of Kato appears, then a future Tanabe, who laughs and reveals that they were simply being pranked. On the deepest inner screen, a far future Ozawa tells the present Ozawa to go to a toy vending machine because he's going to get a rare zebra pill bug. Thrilled, Ozawa rushes out of the cafe immediately, saying he has always wanted that super rare toy. After he leaves, Tanabe sighs and complains that Ozawa is completely wasting the Time TV's potential. They could be asking their future selves for something far more useful than toy machine prizes. Kato tries to escape back to his apartment, saying he has no interest in future predictions, but Aya stops him, reminding him that he took part in the prank they just saw on the screen. Komiya finds a poster hanging on the wall showing the same destroyed buildings from the prank and hands it to Kato. Kato reluctantly holds it up in front of the monitor to match what they saw in the future loop. They send a message to their earlier selves, just like the loop showed. After that, Komiya and Tanabe begin to worry. They wonder if their futures are actually controlling them, since they feel pressure to repeat what they saw happening. Still, even with the fear of being controlled by the future, they start discussing ideas to use the Time TV for profit, lotteries, races, gambling, and so on. But many of their plans would require staying inside the cafe for months, which is impossible. So they decide to limit their predictions to only a few hours ahead, hoping to find something useful without getting trapped in a long, endless loop. Before long, Aya, Komiya, and Tanabe start asking their future selves if there's any way to quickly get some money. When they look at the Time TV, the future Tanabe, 4 minutes ahead, shows them a big bundle of cash. The future Komiya explains that they found the money inside an old VCR player thrown in the trash under the station overpass. Hearing this, the three rush out of the cafe to recover the money, leaving Kato behind. Soon after they leave, Megumi walks into the cafe. She brings Kato a symbol that her friend left at her place a long time ago. Kato tells her he doesn't play drums, but says he can give it to their band's drummer. While they're talking, Megumi notices the future versions of the trio on the Time TV. Kato quickly asks her to ignore it because he doesn't know how to properly explain the time loop situation, but things turn frightening very fast. A man suddenly appears on the inner screen, threatening Komiya with a knife. Then another future scene appears. Megumi herself is shown being grabbed and dragged away by a different man. She's crying and begging him to let her go. In the next inner screen, a future Kato shows up, shouting that he will save her. Megumi is shocked and confused after seeing herself in danger on the monitor. Kato, frightened because he knows these events must happen soon, begs her to go straight home. But Megumi refuses. She wants to know the truth behind what she just saw. Aya, Komiya, and Tanabe return carrying the old VCR, and Kato finally admits to Megumi that the monitor really does show the future, and what they saw moments ago looks dangerous for her. Kato again urges her to go home. The trio then reveals the cash they found inside the VCR. They head to the Time TV to tell their past selves exactly where to find the money, so the loop remains consistent. However, trouble arrives almost immediately. Two rough-looking men walk into the cafe and confront Tanabe about the bundle of cash in his hand. One of them, Furuya, explains that a young member of their agency ran away with the money and hid it somewhere only the group knows. The other man, Narita, argues that the stolen money was placed inside a VCR player. Kato tries to calm them by saying his friends found the money by accident and are willing to return it, but Narita punches him in the face and refuses to believe the story. The men insist that the group come with them to their office upstairs because they want answers. At that moment, the Time TV begins playing the scene where Tanabe and the others gave their past selves instructions on where to find the money, proving that the loop is closing again. Tanabe hands the money to the men, but Narita still holds a knife to Komiya's face, convinced they're lying. Suddenly, Furuya grabs Megumi and drags her out of the cafe, exactly like the future scene they saw earlier. On the screen, the future Kato appears 4 minutes ahead, promising he will save her. Aya guesses that the men must be taking Megumi to their office on the 5th floor. Kato quickly picks up a knife, desperate to rescue her, but Komiya and Tanabe stop him from rushing in blindly. At that tense moment, Ozawa finally returns, still excited, holding his rare zebra pillbug toy. Aya quickly explains everything to Ozawa, and he watches the whole situation on the past monitor. Then he notices something important. The future monitor is showing movement. That means Kato will try to rescue Megumi exactly 2 minutes from now. Ozawa gives instructions to his past self about getting the zebra pillbug toy, then tells Kato to take the past monitor with him. That way, everyone downstairs can watch what Kato is doing from the monitor that looks into the future. Kato grabs the past monitor and runs upstairs. On the way, he sees a scene from 4 minutes earlier, Megumi being dragged away, and he stops for a moment to promise her that he's coming to save her. As he continues up the stairs, Aya catches up to him and slips the ketchup bottle into his front pocket. Komiya then straps the symbol on Kato's back. Right before Kato reaches the 5th floor, Tanabe hands him the zebra pillbug and tells him to use it at the right moment. Tanabe excitedly says that Kato looked so cool when he saved Megumi, but Kato reminds him that it hasn't actually happened yet. Kato bursts into the office where the goons are tying Megumi to the sofa. He sets the monitor down and begs them to let her go. Narita pulls out a knife, so Kato charges at him, but Narita stabs him. Kato collapses to the floor, and Furuya scolds Narita, saying they weren't supposed to kill anyone. While the two argue, Kato stands back up and whacks Narita on the head. Then he pulls out the ketchup bottle. The knife stabbed the bottle instead of killing him. On the past monitor downstairs, Ozawa tells Aya to put the ketchup in Kato's pocket, completing the loop. Furuya suddenly pulls out a gun and fires at Kato, but the symbol strapped to Kato's back stops the bullet. Then Kato hands him the zebra pillbug toy. When Furuya opens it, he freaks out and falls back into a chair because he's terrified of bugs. With the goons distracted, Kato frees Megumi, and the two escape the office while carrying the monitor with them. On their way down the stairs, they find Tanabe unconscious on the ground. When they check the monitor, they see the past Aya and Ozawa collapsing as well, after speaking to someone off-screen. Kato hurries toward the cafe and finds Komiya passed out by the stairs. Finally, Kato and Megumi reach the cafe, where two mysterious men in brown trench coats are waiting for them. One of them, Kinjo, calmly tells them not to worry. Their friends are only taking a short nap. The other man, Ishizuka, reveals the truth. They are from the far future, and they work for the Time and Space Bureau. The agents explain that the monitors created a massive disturbance in time and space, something that counts as a serious crime. However, since Kato and his friends didn't use the time loops to make money or gain anything unfairly, Ishizuka says they'll let them off with just a warning. They also reveal their next step. They plan to give everyone a memory wiping powder, so none of them will remember what happened that night. Kato and Megumi hesitate, but Ishizuka shows them the monitor, where their future selves are already seen taking the substance, which means the loop is supposed to happen. Kato still refuses and says he doesn't want to take it, but Ishizuka warns him that refusing could end up damaging the future timeline. Megumi steps toward the monitor and gets ready to take her dose, but right at that moment, she sneezes and blows the powder everywhere. Kato sneezes too, causing him to avoid inhaling it as well. As the two agents scramble to prepare another dose, their bodies begin to fade away until they completely vanish from existence. Kato waits for his friends to wake up from whatever the agents did to them and offers Megumi a cup of coffee. Megumi asks him why he seems so afraid of the future. Kato explains that when he was young, he heard Nostradamus' prophecy saying the world would end in 1999. Because of that, he stopped making plans for the future. Later, when people said the Mayan calendar predicted the end of the world in 2012, he stopped planning again. Kato says that every time he learns something about the future, it ends up controlling him, so now he prefers not to know what lies ahead. Megumi agrees. She says she also doesn't want to know her future. She once dated a musician who constantly talked about their future together and even wrote songs about their relationship. But when his band became famous, he forgot about her almost instantly. As they talk about everything that happened in the past hour, something strange appears on the monitor one last time. Their future selves, just a few minutes ahead. Their future versions walk into the room, turn the time TV off, and disappear from the screen, finally closing the loop for good.